Part 5. The Apple, the Coffin, and the Prince. At the cottage of the dwarfs, the next afternoon, when the 7 dwarfs were away at work, there was a knock on the door. "Who is it?" said Snow White. She remembered the warning of the 7 dwarfs not to open the door to anyone. "It's only a poor old woman," came a squeaky voice, "selling apples." Yet in fact, it was the evil queen, disguised as an old woman. "It's raining outside, dearie," said her voice through the door. "Please let me in." Poor thing, thought Snow White, having to go door to door selling apples in the rain. She opened the door. "Take a look at this big red apple," said the old woman, who, as you know, was really the queen in disguise. She held the red apple close to Snow White's face. "Lovely, my dear, isn't it? For only a few coins, it is yours." "I would like very much to buy your apple," said Snow White, "but I have no money." "That fine comb in your hair will make a good trade," said the old woman. "All right then," said Snow White. She gave her comb to the old woman, and took the apple in return. With relish, Snow White took a big bite. Alas, the fruit was poisoned. At once, Snow White swooned to the ground, where she fell into a very deep sleep. "She is down," shouted the queen, pumping the air with her fists. Just then, the door flew open. In marched the 7 dwarfs, home from the day's work. Shocked indeed, they were to find Snow White, lying on the floor, and what must be her stepmother, beside her, laughing. They chased the evil queen out the door, and into the storm. Up to the very top of a mountain, they chased her, when all of a sudden, lightning hit the mountain. The queen fell, and she was never seen again. But nothing could help poor Snow White. She stayed absolutely still in her deep sleep. The 7 dwarfs gently lifted her into a glass coffin. Day and night, they kept watch over her, weeping for sorrow. One day, the prince happened to ride by the dwarf's cottage. Ever since he learned that Snow White was missing at the castle, he knew something must be terribly wrong. He hopped on his horse, and had been searching for her ever since. Now he finally found her, but in such a state. The prince lifted the lid to the glass coffin. Her face seemed so fresh, even in that deep sleep. The prince gently took one of Snow White's hands in his own, and kissed it. At once, Snow White's eyes opened. With love's first kiss, the evil queen's spell was gone forever. The 7 dwarfs let out a big cheer. The prince and Snow White leaned towards each other. Delighted to find each other again, they smiled. Now nothing stood in the way for Snow White and the prince to be together. They bid a fond farewell to the 7 dwarfs, and returned to the prince's kingdom, where they could be safe and live free. Before long, they were married and lived happily ever after. For more videos, subscribe and like my channel.